Okay, so a lot of Megaminx tutorials out there are a bit confusing, and when I first learned how to do the Megaminx, it took me a very long time because they weren't the best at explaining it. So this is going to be my attempt at explaining how to solve a Megaminx using the basic method, which is also basically 3x3. So if you don't know how to solve a 3x3, you need to know how to do that. So go ahead and click right here to learn how to do that. I have some tutorials, and you'll learn everything you need to know there to accomplish this. So we will be using a lot of 3x3 techniques in this, and it's pretty much 3x3 the whole way, with a couple of exceptions. So I'm not going to do an official scramble or anything right now. I'm just going to mix it up. And my Megaminx is, well, it's actually my friend's Megaminx. I'm borrowing it from him because he couldn't solve it, so I just learned how. Mine is not really a brand. I'm not sure what brand it is. It's not QJ, it's not MFA, it's not any of the actual good ones. This one actually is terrible. But it's a lot better now that you can actually move it, because we had to use a ton of jigaloo on it just to make it move. Okay, so it's relatively mixed up now. And the next thing we're going to do is pick a side, and just for tutorial purposes, I'll be using the white side. And just like any cross on a Rubik's Cube, you want to solve it on the bottom. But unfortunately, I solve it on the top, which will be good for explaining purposes. So, instead of making a cross like we would make on a 3x3, we want to make a star. This is our centerpiece that never moves, and these are our edge pieces and corner pieces. So, first, this part, of course, is intuitive, but of course we can see that we can just line up this blue piece here and look for other pieces that are connected. The thing I hate about the Megaminx the most is you can get lost very easily on it in terms of finding colors and stuff like that. So, you know, it can get a bit annoying. But there's my cross. This piece is kind of faded, but it's my star. And the next step is just like F2L. You can use beginner method on this layer by layer. You can insert an edge or a corner piece and then an edge piece, but F2L makes it go faster because of how many layers we are going to be solving. So first things first, just for following purposes, line up your corner with the correct edge, or with the correct sides. So this green and orange one goes here. Then we need to find the green and orange edge piece, which is right here. But see what happens if we move it and try and move it like in front of it? The piece comes way over here. So what we can do is hide the corner piece. Make sure we know that this is now out of place. Hide it, and then bring this in here, and then bring it back up. And then we have it in a nice F2L position where we can just do this move here and insert the pair. And now we'll do this for a few more. And the hardest part when you're first solving a Megaminx is finding the edge pieces and matching them with the corner pieces, because there are so many sides you can get lost. And always make sure your cross is still intact unless you're hiding a piece, but then make sure you put it back. So here we have a green and red piece. Put that into place. Green and red piece, or edge piece, is probably somewhere way far away. Yeah, probably is. Oh, never mind. See, this happens to me all the time, where they're right next to each other and I just don't notice it. So in this case, we can just bring the edge piece out and into place and put that back in. You don't have to, but it's recommended to get in the habit. And then we can do the F2L. In this case, we hide this, and bring this to line it up, bring it back up, and it'll be lined up. Then we insert it like an F2L pair. And now we have two more. We have this purple and light purple and blue piece. Here, let me see here. There we go. Some better lighting. Okay, so we have this, and we can just move it down into the correct orientation place. And we look for the light purple and light blue piece. And that's one of the things that is terrible about Megaminx is if your colors are any close or similar colors, then you might have some problems. So I might have just messed up a pair there, probably. So I'm just going to insert these really fast. A lot of times, if you just set this on the table and turn it like this and stuff, then it can help a little bit sometimes. That's usually for the ending parts, but if you watch the professionals do it, like Simon Westfield, I believe that's his name, or Westland, I don't remember, I'm sorry, but that's what he does at the end, and it is very smart. So, light blue, dark green, right here. Okay, I want to be careful here not to mess up the cross. And yeah, see, I already did this side, I believe, so. Okay, one more really fast, and this is the one I always hate. I don't know why, but it's orange, light purple, and white. And luckily it's just right in front of us. So, okay, so now that we've solved our first layer, our first two layers technically, next step is to set it so that your solved layer is face down. We're going to solve these little 3x1 indents right here. So the first things first is you just pick one. So in this case we'll do purple, red, and green. I know that looks orange probably, but it's red. That's orange. Okay, so, and you kind of want to keep that in your head and just quickly look for the piece. So if we quickly look, it's right here. And we basically want it so that this bigger piece right here on the corner is matched up with this, which it already is, which is good. And now we want to, and now it's lined up, we want to look for the edge pieces. So we want to look for purple and green and purple and red. So purple and green right here on the same layer type thing. So to insert, to connect these, we're going to bring the corner to the opposite side of the green, hide it, and just kind of like F2L, line them up and push them back, and that will line those up. Now we need to look for the purple and red, which is right here. So we just bring it up, line it up, and we do the same thing. We are going to, this time, move it to the opposite of the red side, and make sure our pair is still there, hide it, line up these pieces, bring it back up, and move it back. So I'll do one more really fast, and then I'll just skip forward. So you can usually just move from one to the next. So this time yellow, green, blue. It's right here. And in this case, you can see that these yellows do not match up. So simply just do like RU to R prime, and they'll line up. And there's a lot of simple cases like that you can usually figure out on your own. So here's the other yellow piece, and if it's like this where it's misoriented, just move it to the spot next to it, bring it down, there you go. So once again, we're going to bring this to the opposite of the green, which is over here, hide it, line them up, and bring it back. And yellow blue is right here, and there you go. So this part actually took me the longest to learn because I just don't think the tutorials out there explained it well enough. But yeah, I'll go ahead and solve this all really fast.